What is up guys, Julian Michael here of Social Vignerons. Welcome back to another wine video. This is episode number 10 of the Talking Wine with Julian series, your daily fix of wine information. And as is traditional now on Tuesdays, I have highlighting, I have cherry-picked a few pieces of wine news that I've found particularly interesting over the past week or so to keep you in the loop with what's going on in the world of wine. This is your Wine News Tuesday clip for February the 12th of 2019. And today we are going to dream a little with record sales of collectors' Burgundy wines. We are going to have a look at some predictive trends for the wine industry in 2019, highlighting the top 20 wines under $20 by the New York Times, and finally a little relaxing moment with a research finding out that it doesn't matter whether you drink beer before wine or wine before beer, you're still gonna get a hangover if you drink too much. So first we have Penta reporting that Burgundy powers fine wine sales. For fine wine, the story of 2018 can be summed up in one word: Burgundy. That truth was confirmed by Sotheby's Wine, which is reporting Monday that its total wine and spirit sales rose to more than $100 million in 2018, up from $64 million a year earlier. So some people are enjoying some damn good wines. They also report that one reason for sky-high prices is that Burgundy is scarce, produced in far smaller quantities than most other regions, like Bordeaux and Champagne, etc. I actually did a video about why Burgundy is so expensive about a week ago. I suggest you go and check this out. Then we have Liza-B Zimmerman for Forbes, reporting the data highlighted by the Silicon Valley Bank regarding the trends in the wine industry for 2019. She reports the speech and the data by Rob McMillan at the Napa-based Silicon Valley Bank. Macmillan notes that 2018 was a good year for wine. Total wine sales for the year set a record, restaurant sales of wine were higher, and premium wine sales were up as well. Strong consumer confidence and a healthy US economy contributed to the improved performance. But unfortunately, things are looking a little bit grimmer for 2019. A handful of factors are likely to continue to influence wine sales. The most important one of all is likely to be the cumulative impact of negative health messaging. Other concerns, he noted, include the widely published fact that millennials aren't yet embracing wine consumption as many had predicted, and the damaged financial capacity is also a major contributor. More surprisingly even, cannabis legalization is another factor explaining the slow adoption of wine. So this is a very interesting piece of information. He highlights that the future of the wine industry goes through direct to consumers that many wineries in the US are adopting, and he also talks about private labels, all of this helping to keep the prices down for wine, especially in the US, and those are some of the key trends for 2019. A piece of article that I highly recommend reading. I will be linking to all these articles down in the description below. Eric Asimov of the New York Times has revealed his favorite 20 wines under $20 in a very interesting piece of article. He says, for quite a few years I have argued that the greatest values in wine are found around $15 to $20 a bottle. For just as long I have heard the persistent objection that $15 to $20 wine is too much to spend on a bottle of wine, and the suggestion that I instead focus on wines that are $8 to $10. And Eric explains his vision and why he suggests to spend just a little bit more to find this extra dimension. In his experience, requires spending a little extra. I wish that they were not so, but it is the truth. In fact, he argues that generally people finding wines that they love at a very low price range are manipulated wines or wines made in a huge scale. So he's been looking for wines with a little bit more expression, a little bit more genuine expression of the terroir. He says inexpensive wines are generally able to be so cheap because of the technological manipulations, automation and economies of scale, which in most cases cannot help but compromise quality. So his 20 wines that he selected follows are small production made by dedicated producers using traditional practices without compromise or labor-saving automation. And so he goes on with a very good, what seems to be a very nice selection of like Barbera from Italy, a red wine, Margaret River Semillon, a rather not so common grape variety to see out there, some Méthode Traditionnelle from Savoie, I believe this one comes from. Yeah, a wine from Savoie, so a very interesting selection. I wish I could try all these wines to confirm that they're good, but I'm sure Eric knows what he's talking about. So go and check this article, it's fascinating both for the explanation and for the wine selection. The University of Cambridge reports about a new scientific report that has just come out, highlighting that it doesn't matter whether you drink your beer, a little bit of beer before wine, or wine before your beer. If you drink too much, scientists have now shown that it doesn't matter how you order your drinks, if you drink too much, you're still likely to be ill. So they've run a scientific study with male and females of different age groups, with quite a lot of people, a very thorough research, and the researchers have found that none of the three groups had a significantly different hangover score with different orders of alcoholic drinks. Women tended to have a slightly worse hangovers than men. So I guess it's nothing really new, but it's a very thorough scientific report, and they just found that it's just a matter of how much you drink, more than whether you drink a little bit of beer before your wine, which is a common saying in the English language in particular. It actually doesn't matter. Moderation is key here, as we know, unfortunately. And finally, just because in season, we've got Good Morning America reporting about some chocolate and food pairing for Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Some milk chocolate with late harvest Zweigelt. So some interesting grape variety here from Austria, I believe. Yeah. So an interesting sweet wine to go with chocolate. We've got chocolate covered strawberries, which look really yummy and delicious. Salted caramel chocolate with cherry. So they've gone here for very interesting combinations. They haven't just gone for the obvious thing. So this is a nice piece of information for the lovers of both wine and chocolate, and I'm sure that could be a very nice treat to have for Valentine's Day. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, spread the news about this video series. Last week I covered the wines from England, I covered the wines from New Zealand, the wines from Amarones. We learned together a lot about the different wine styles. I tested a few wine accessories. There's something new happening every day on this channel. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon in the wine world. Cheers. Oh, this one I will be reviewing very soon, by the way, that's why they're here. Cheers.